Hey everyone, today we are going to be working on the Module 2 practice test. So I'm going to go through the solutions for this practice test for your test on Thursday. So number 1 says Mr. Keim watched 20% of the football games this weekend. If Mr. Keim watched for 80 minutes, how many total minutes were the football games on TV? So for the parts, I've got what he watched and what he didn't watch. Same thing for the percents. So remember that your parts and your percents should be the same. So watched and didn't watch. And then we've got total football. So Mr. Keim watched 20% of the football games this weekend. So 20% of the football games this weekend. That means he didn't watch 80% of the football games this weekend. If he watched for 80 minutes, how many total minutes were the football games on TV? So there's my question mark. So now I'm going to highlight. I have watched, and total football as my question mark. I can't use didn't watch because total football and didn't watch for the parts would be 2 question marks and 1 problem, and that can't happen. So to find the whole, I'm going to set up the percent proportion, which is percent over 100 equals part over whole. So 20% over 100 is equal to 80 over my blank space, which is my whole. To get from 20 to 80, I'm going to multiply by 4. So this is going to be 400 minutes. Number 2 says that Mr. King loves taking science tests on the weekend. Due to football games on TV, he could not focus and scored a 65%. And he missed 7 questions. How many questions were on the test? So because he missed 7 questions, I'm going to say that the test questions were either correct or incorrect. And again, your parts and your percent should be the same. And then I've got total questions. Mr. King loves taking science tests on the weekend. Due to football games on TV, he could not focus and scored a 65%. If he scored a 65%, that is 65% correct and 35% incorrect. He missed 7 questions, so he got 7 questions incorrect on the test. How many questions were on the test? That's how many total questions. So again, I'm setting up the percent proportion. So percent over 100 equals part over whole. I've got incorrect, and total questions. So 35 over 100 equals 7 over my empty space. To get from 35 to 7, I'm going to divide by 5. So I'm going to divide 100 by 5, and I get 20. So 20 questions. Number 3 says a metal bar that is made of silver and gold weighs 9.25 ounces. If it contains 15.2% silver, how many ounces are silver? So I've got a silver and gold bar. So my parts and my percent are going to be silver and gold. And then I've got total weight. So a metal bar that is made of silver and gold weighs 9.25 ounces. So 9.25 is the total weight. If it contains 15.2% silver, how many ounces are silver. So I do know that I can figure out what is the remainder from 100. So this is going to be 84.8%. And I'm looking for this as my question mark, how much silver. So I'm going to highlight. Silver is my question mark, so that's going to be highlighted. Silver goes with silver. And then I know the total weight is 9.25. For this one, I'm going to change my percent to a decimal. So this is going to be your percent as a decimal times the whole. So that's the formula that I'm going to use. So silver as a percent is going to be 0.152 times 9.25. This one you are allowed to use a calculator. Okay, so remember that on this one you are allowed to use a calculator, so I'm going to use my calculator. 0.152 times 9.25. I got 1.406 ounces. Number 4 says Mrs. Check has 20 horses. Every morning she feeds 60% of them and her daughter feeds the rest. How many horses does her daughter feed every morning? So I've got the horses that Mrs. Check feeds and then her daughter. And you can again label these however you want to. This is just how I'm choosing to label them. And then I've got total horses. So if Mrs. Check has 20 total horses and every morning she feeds 60% of them, that means that her daughter is feeding 40%. How many horses does her daughter feed? So my question is going to be under her daughter. So I've got the question mark, I've got the information for her daughter, and I've got the total number of horses. Again, this is going to be your percent as a decimal times the whole, and we may use a calculator. So I'm going to do 40% is 0.40 times 20. I think it's 8. So 0.40 times 20 is going to be 8 horses. Number 5 says that Mrs. Watson is an avid Michigan State fan. So true, go green, and is a season ticket holder. Michigan State plays 8 home games each year, and Mrs. Watson attends 6 of those games every year. What percentage of games does she not attend? So I have attended and not attended. So the games that I went to and the games that I did not go to. And then I've got total games. Mrs. Watson's an avid Michigan State fan and is a season ticket holder. Michigan State plays 8 home games each year, and I attend 6 of those games. So what percentage do I not attend? Well, if there are 6 games that I go to and there are 8 total games, there are 2 that I don't go to. So when I highlight, I can use not attended, and then the whole. In this one, I'm trying to find the percent. So I'm going to do part divided by whole times 100. So 2 divided by 8 is 0.25 times 100 is going to be 25%. So I did not attend 25% of the games. Number 6 says Mrs. Shaw loves soccer and played in college. Her soccer team played a total of 80 games. She started in 72 of them. What percentage of games did Mrs. Shaw start? So we're going to say that she started and then didn't start. And then I've got total games. They played 80 total games. She started in 72 of them. So she didn't start in 8. What percentage of games did she start in? So there's my question mark. So I can use the information for started, and then total games. Again, this is going to be part over whole times 100, and make sure that you include the percent sign as part of your answer. So 72 divided by 80. Again, this is a calculator question. The last one was also a calculator question if you needed it. So 72 divided by 80 is 0.9 times 100 is going to be 90%. So she started